everyone. All right. Audio good, everybody? Or who's there? Just let me know. I'm going to have a 10-second delay from when you guys speak to me. So, yeah, just let me know if there's anything wrong with the audio. And I will be happy to tweak. One-man show going on here right now. A quarantine one-man show. So, okay. Get a few more people on here. Where's my pop-up window? Okay. Thanks on the audio. Okay. And I got a few other people who are supposed to be chiming in, so let's. If you like what you see, hit the like button. Okay, Jeffrey Reed, how do you like the neck? The new neck on this. Okay, so just to answer some nerdy kind of guitar questions ahead of time. Yeah, I put a new neck on this, and it was really big, and I've got a smaller neck that Michael put on. It's 850, 7-quarter radius, and 6105 frets. So I thought I'd do that. Hey, True Fire, woo! There you go, there's my True Fire bottle. All right. Well, since, everybody is hanging out at home, or maybe most of us are kind of locked up in these crazy, ridiculous times that nobody ever expected. Hey, Phil, what's going on? I just, I really feel strongly that everybody's been super supportive of me, and my work with True Fire, and the record with Robin, and everything I've been doing. And I feel like it's such a heavy time for everybody, and I just want to kind of share some stuff. Just get online once a week, and just talk about the guitar, you know what I mean? And just hang out. So what I want to do is I'm going to give a little lesson. Let's wait until some more people chime in. Good, we got like 20 people so far. It's pretty good. Audio's still good. I turned the wrong button. So let me know if it's too low. Yeah, I'm really excited about doing. I'm adjusting everything myself. This is new to me, doing all this stuff. Thanks so much to Tommy from True Fire, the man behind the scenes, to help me set up some of this stuff here. So it's been really great. Oh, True Fire is streaming this live too. That's great of you guys. So I'm really psyched. Like I said, I want to just start a little bit of a community here. We already have a great community. All the people from True Fire, all my friends, all my friends everywhere who've been really great across the world and help support me, and just the guitar community and all of us. So I just really, like I said, want to pay some of that back as much as I can and just do a live feed every week. And I've actually talked to a number of my friends. This is really exciting. I just got off the phone with Matt Scofield, who's self-quarantined at the moment, and Josh Smith just hit me back, and Angus Clark, and Jason Lachlan. And what I want to do is just kind of maybe have a little interviews with my friends. We'll just do a live chat on Skype. So, two of us will get together, me and say like Matt, for instance. We can answer questions and just have a little open guitar chat just to kind of, open it up and have fun, because it's crazy and we can't really go out. So let's just have some fun. So any questions you have, but the first thing I'm going to do is I want to, first of all, thank everybody for chiming in. This is awesome. All right. So David Dare Parker, yeah, awesome. Australia, who got here, New York. Phil Mingen, sorry, Phil, I messed it up. Mark, everybody. Okay, thanks so much for everybody chiming in. All right, so I'm going to, since we're home, everybody's kind of by themselves, locked in for the most part. I know in New York City we have a ban on restaurants and bars and everything. So what I'm going to do is give you a Dropbox link. Let me get this rolling here, guys. Hold on. And if you want to follow along, it's from one of my True Fire courses. And I really love playing solo blues. Okay, so just kind of sitting down and being able to play guitar by myself. So I have a whole course on that. And one of the ones I want to share with you is actually from my Eclectic Blues Licks courses. Great title. And here we go. There you go. So there you have the PDF if you want to somewhat follow along. I'm going to improvise. It's based off of Muddy Waters' Rolling Stone Blues. Okay, so let's give it a shot. Let's improvise. Okay, so let's just take a look. Obviously, I did some little improvising going on from there. So the first thing, let's take a look at the main riff, which is just really one of the pinnacles of rock and roll and blues. And I would say it's Muddy Waters, Rolling Stone, Catfish Blues. Rolling Stone is the actual title of, that's where the band got the name, Rolling Stone Blues. So the main riff. Now what's so cool about that riff, if we think about it, if we reverse it and speed it up, so that's Voodoo Child, right? You know, that's Are You Gonna Go My Way, right? Lenny Kravitz. And it's just kind of, oh man, one of my favorites, Brown Sugar by ZZ Top. You know? Right, that whole thing. So for me, it's essential to learn that lick. So we're going to sit on that one chord for a while, because for me, that's setting everything up. Wow, a lot of people chiming in. This is awesome. Thanks, everybody. I'm going to try to get to all the questions. I don't have any moderator, but I'll go back and I'll answer some questions in a minute. And don't forget, I'm on a bit of a delay for that. So So the lick, let's learn how to play it. Let's see if this works on the setup I'm using right now. Nope, not really. Okay. I have a thing where I can change the camera angles, but it's not working with the program I'm using. Okay, so I'm thinking E minor pentatonic. Just right there, open position. So the first thing, all right, so low E, and then I'm gonna hit my top 2 strings. So I've got this bend with my second finger, pull up, and release the bend, pull off there, and in my root. So what I think about this move right here is one thought. A lot of guys will go like really kind of separate that. Don't. It's just this one kind of thought of a pull, right bend, release, pull off, second finger right there. And then that low E string. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. So that's where you're going to feel the beat. But the main thing is 1, 2, 3, 4 and 1. And when Muddy's singing, it's like a heartbeat, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Right? So that's really important just to get that going, because that's the whole groove. If you don't have that, it just doesn't work. It's just not going to sound great. So to me, that is the driving thing. It's a bass drum. It's like a heartbeat. It's what people are listening to. So you want to try to keep that going through the whole thing. So, and how I can phrase that lick, like I just did, is 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and 1. Right? And as I said in the beginning, if I turn that around, so let's think about that. So it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, how about 1 and 2 and, I have to count and say that. You know, speed it up. Right? It's Voodoo Child. And a ton of other tunes. So that's something to think about when you're kind of messing around with this, how many other songs this is and how much stuff you're building up. Okay, so let's say we've got that. You feel comfortable with it. All right, and you can really play with that. Right, I'm just moving the pickup selector, which it's easier on a Strat, but you know. Bringing that down kind of like Hendrix does on Voodoo Child. So, okay, so this lick, let's just think about the dynamics before we go on to the 4 chord and the 5 chord. So what makes this so engaging is if you have to play it, we're having a conversation. I want to pull the audience in, I want to pull you in as a listener. So stuff to practice at home while we have nothing to do is almost practice playing as softly as you can. And then hard. And mix it. Right? So that's something really you want to think about pulling that in. Everybody listening and listen to what you're playing and think about when we're talking to each other. I'm not yelling at you the whole time. I have a conversation. I say things, we say words softer than other words to it's a musical conversation, so it's going to pull you in. Okay, so now the A chord. So it's a kind of a tricky, cool thing I do here. Little kind of quirky to my own hands. I'm going to A7. So I can play A7, you know, I can do this, but I want to get that G on the top. What I'm going to do is just bend I finger it this really strange way. I have my first finger, it's actually barring, and my second finger comes on the C sharp here. There's no reason for that other than just because that's the way I do it. And I have this G here. So what I'm going to do is just tweak that bend a little bit. And we don't want to release that bend. So the tweak is to bring it up, but not release it, because if we release it, it sounds terrible. Right, terrible. So it's just about almost like a train whistle, you know. You get the volume, you know. That kind of sound, or the tone now for the utility guys, right? So I'm just going to bend that. Okay, so don't release the bend, it's not going to sound as good. So, and next, by the way, sorry, the bend isn't really going anywhere. It's just moving, right? Just don't stop it. So, and it takes a little bit of work to get that together. And you can vibrato it. Yeah, maybe not. Okay, so the second bit of that phrase where I always want to get those downbeats. Bam, 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 and 1, and 2, and 3, 4, and 1, right? So, okay, so we got. So I'm going to play my low G, kind of give a little bit of a bend, and I hit my open A string. And I kind of want to slap that kind of hard because it sounds cool. It really, you know, accentuates that downbeat. See? Right, so pretty cool. So even on that 4 chord, the A7, to that a bit. So I'm playing with the dynamics on the 4 chord as well. My loudest thing seems to be is just my downbeat. Bum, bum. Right? The whole thing is that. You know what I mean? If you're hitting that and you're feeling where that is, that's going to be a huge part of it. Okay, so what we do is this. That lick, to me, that's what differentiates this blues from another one, right? So a lot of blues tunes, you know, it's the same 3 chords. A joke that I heard through David Hamburger, who will be on my little interview series as well, my great friend David Hamburger. And David was saying that somebody's joke, like the blues is like telling an old joke. Some people tell it way better than others. So that's really true. So one of the things about this blues, what makes it Catfish Blues, you know, Hendrix does it on a blues record, and like I said, Muddy Waters, is that riff. That's what makes it Catfish Blues. If I made it this, it's something else, right? So this lick is what we want to play. So a blues is 12 bars long, right? So every time we have our E chord, for the moment, we want to play that riff because that's what defines it, that brings it back in. So we can do, I'll play it again. Now I'm back to that riff. Right? Okay, my 5 chord, the B7. Remember the B7 chord, the first most difficult chord you learned when you were younger? So we have B, D sharp, A, open B string, and F sharp. Okay, so now here, now one thing that's really important that I'll get to in a second is the hybrid picking. So I'm going to go to my 5 chord. Now in the PDF, I go back to. That's what Muddy Waters would do. And if you notice, the blues is this particular blues is a little swampy sounding. So we're not nailing the third of the chord, which would be G sharp. We're kind of leaving it a little ambiguous. As opposed to. A lot happier, right? Now in the beginning I did this turnaround, which would not be something Muddy Waters would have done on that particular tune because it made it a bit bright and major. So in retrospect, I might not have played that, but it's cool, and I'll show it to you anyway. So this turnaround. You know, it's like I'm So Glad by Cream, which is actually Skip James. But take an E7 chord, just regular old E7. This isn't on the PDF, so let's run through. E7, what you can do is you're just going to slide this all the way up 4 frets. So your first finger is on the B note, you're on the 4th fret, the second finger's on the 5th fret of the 5th string, and I'm going to go, so my note picking wise, I can hit my 5th string, let's just talk notes, B, sorry, D, B, open B again, E, and just bring it down chromatically. Right, so that's a great move. So what's cool about this turnaround is, anyway, by the way, guys, any turnaround you play ascending, you can play descending. So I can do, and there I'm hybrid picking. We're gonna get to that. Right, so I'm just bringing my ring finger in. I'm just gonna get those high strings. I can get both. I can arpeggiate it like that. I can play it any way I want. So you really want to experiment. So to my point, you can also play that same turnaround going up. 3, 5, and 5 chord. Now going up. F and the 5 chord again. 4. You're going down. Okay, so we have 2 turnarounds, and every turnaround's that way. Every turnaround, you get 2 for the price of 1. Or, pretty cool. Now, another thing about a turnaround that was kind of screwy to me is the turnaround starts on, the actual motion starts on beat 2. So my downbeat on the E, in this case, is going to be on beat 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. 2, 3, 4, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1. All right, so that's really awesome. So, just to jump to another turnaround, like the old Robert Johnson thing. Right, so just that, I know I'm shying away, but it's cool, like. Pretty nice that you can do that as well. You don't hear that one as much, but hey, you know, it works great. Now, just people are going to ask the Robert Johnson, what did I play? Open A string. G and A on the high string with my pinky, then bring it down. All right, then my 5 chord would be E. So I've got, I'm go off camera with my thumb. My fingers. Okay, so hold on. There we go. If I do it that way, or if I use my middle finger. Right. Okay, so just an aside. So let's go back to this turnaround for a second. And one thing I can always do is just hammer on that 3. Right? All right, so now back to this blues. All right, so put it all together, right? Cool, right? So that's how you're going to put that together. Not, I can't say it's not difficult. It is, you know. But if you keep on working on it, you'll get it. It's not physically. It's not that difficult. It's just time, right, to be able to play it properly and have the freedom to do it. But I can't stress enough listening to people who do this. You know, whether it's original Muddy Waters. Oh, okay. So the Muddy Waters song, he sits on the whole thing. It's a one chord song until he gets to his chorus, right? So it's and when he's singing this again, right? That's a catfish, right? I can't sing that. Singing deep blue sea, that whole thing. And then when he wants to go to the bridge, right? Then in the 5 chord, he does a turnaround. So he sits on it for a really, really long period of time. So you can do that as well. So as you noticed, when I did some fills. So let's talk about one right off the bat. This is 2. We get 4 turnarounds. Okay, so we did this first. Well, if you look at the top 3 notes of this, top 3 strings, and if I play this D, I'm going to bring that up an octave. We have this. So I have B, D, and E. Bring that down chromatically. Right? So it works great on that same thing. Now, everything is open E minor pentatonic. We're thinking about that. So we can start throwing in some fills. So if we think about a really simple fill, let's just try something to pull away from that main lick. Okay, so there I did what drummers call a flam. It's a quick hammer on. Yeah, sorry, down the blues scale. Now, okay, one fun thing. You see that lick kind of ended a little early, right? So if you listen to someone like Lightnin' Hopkins, who I'm a huge fan of and wish this kind of thing is really part of his playing, you just cram, man. Make it fit. So we've got like... Or... Right? So you can just kind of make it fit. I'm going to make it work. And when you listen to Lightnin' Hopkins, he'll do stuff like, just like, just get to the downbeat. And that's a ton of fun. Like, so, I can't say there's no mistakes. Of course, there's mistakes. The biggest mistake you can make is losing the time. That's the biggest sin, right? I mean, if you hit a wrong note, some people might notice it unless it's a total clam. But if you lose time, most people, if you're talking about a listener, can tap their foot, and they're in time, and they can do that together, and that's cool. But if you lose time, that's when stuff starts kind of going out the window. So the downbeat's the thing. So the cramming in there would work really well too, All right, so now just opening minor pentatonics, like another lick. How about this? We did the turnaround. Right? So the cool lick. And here, I'm going to take my second finger. I'm going to slide that up from A to B on my G string. Open the D note. And I have my high E string. I'm going to slide back down. It's almost like the original lick. Right? Well, it is like the original lick. So see how well it works in this? Right? So you can start to experiment by fitting a lick in, and that's going to be really important. Just you just mess around with it. And if you miss it, you miss it. Who cares? You're sitting at home. What else you got to do? So work on this and just work on the timing of it. So now there's a bunch of questions. Let me answer some of these questions. Woo! Wow, thanks, guys. All right. Hello from Tehran. Wow, hope everything is going well over there, guys. We're pulling for you. Okay, up to the top. Question-wise, this is a little while ago. So hi to everybody chiming in. Okay, I will say hi to everybody. Thanks to everybody from New Hampshire and New Jersey, Long Island, Manchester, England. Is this from one of your courses? I already have the file. Okay, it is from one of my courses. This is from this particular version, or something like it is from my 50 Eclectic Blues Licks course. Thank you so much to Brad Wenkos for that title. Oh, and it is St. Patrick's Day. Happy St. Patrick's Day, everyone. All right. As we call in New York City, amateur hour. So that's my one of my favorites. All right. Sorry, I'm just rolling through this. I want to make sure I get everybody's questions. And start. Okay, what am I playing through? That's good. That's a good question. Well, the guitar is my Michael Tuttle Telly custom G. It's chambered. It's alder, and it's chambered, and it's really light, and it's a great guitar. It's one of my favorites that Michael's made for me, and really awesome. And it's Michael's pickups on board too. And the sound-wise, everybody always asks, this is not a real amplifier. I am playing through the my good friends at Universal Audio, the Universal Audio Apollo Twin Duo. It's a plug-in, and I am using the Friedman Buxom Betty plug-in. In the future, I can set up a screenshot, but I don't have that lined up. So it's a Friedman Buxom Betty plug-in, and I'm using one of their reverbs. So it's not a real amp, but I have it set like I like a real amp. I think they do some really great plugins. Where it's a little distorted, and if I play harder, you can hear the overdrive kicks in, and it cleans up when I roll back my volume. Right? So it's good. It's good. While we're at this, if you guys are watching on my YouTube channel, please subscribe. That would be awesome, so you'll know when the next time we do this, and hit that like button and all that. And we'll keep doing it. It's fun. All right. Keep going. Sorry. Well, I appreciate everybody thanking me for doing this. Like I said, this is just, I'm happy to share all this stuff with everybody. It's my pleasure to do it. Okay. Sorry, just look at it. Most people want to know what I'm playing. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Okay. Hold on. All right, sorry guys. I'm just reading all this. It's hard to catch up. All right. Any questions? Let's open it to some more questions. And if not, I can do a little more teaching, which I'm quite happy to do. Okay. So what I did on the second half, I just started to kind of improvise. So, it's just a 12-bar blues. So what I'm thinking about is, here's my 5-chord B7, A7, E7 again, right? Well, what's another E7 you guys might know? Let's say this, right? E7, your standard old E7 chord, Mustang Sally. That one right there. So I'm going to use that as my E7 chord, my 1 chord. And there's my A7. Here's my 4 chord. And my 5 chord. Right, and then back to E7. So let's do that. So I'm coming out of my 5 down. All right, so really simple. Let's just move it up. We're going to use those 3 chords, E7, all right, standard old E7, A7, first bar chord there, A7, and I'm going to put my pinky right here for my G note. Okay? And I can do the same thing for my B7. I have 2 options on my B7 chord and my A7. So it's a little variation back to my E7. All right, so here I have my E7 chord, and I have these 2 great notes. All right, so this I'm playing B, D, and E. E7 spelled G, G sharp, B, D, and E. Right? Okay, so I'm going to have B, D, and E. So I started my feel there. So I started playing Mustang Sally again. Right, so I'm going to add that in. So I'm playing E7, and notice I'm hyper picking, so I'm using my pick, middle finger, and ring finger. Get that rhythm right. All right, pretty cool. Or I could just even that. So I just want to create something different, a little bit of excitement in the bass, as opposed to going. All right, so I'm going to add this. And I'm going to go 4 chord. Now that's going to be a little boring if I just go. So I'm going to add in. So I have this little melody on top of my A chord. So I'm going to play A7, just got my first finger on the top note. G right here with my pinky. F sharp down a half step. And my E. So I'm building this little line on the top. Right, so that kind of makes more interesting stuff on that on the 4 chord. And I can go to my 5. Or I could just start on the flat 7, which would be the pinky. Turn around. So play it all together. Okay, so I can really start to play those variations on that theme. And then I did another turnaround. I should talk about this one too. All right, so we did this. Okay, now I can also put my 3rd finger on the top. And I basically have an E7 chord. Bring that down. And I can mix that, watch. So I have 1 turnaround. Okay, well, how about what I did? Right, so I can bring it up. Remember, we're talking about any turnaround, you can go up. You can also play, well, ascending, you can play descending. So. Right, so all those work, and they're all equally as useful. All right, so I think I see some more questions. I'm happy to answer. Thanks everybody for chiming in. Man, really appreciate it. Wow, this is great. What's the difference between a comment, and the questions? No, okay. Question meaning just something specific, like, if you want to know what kind of strings I use or any kind of thing like that, or what I just physically did, any stuff like that. Is that guitar custom made? Yes, it is. In the sense that I chose the color and the neck size and the frets. And so, yeah, most guitars that Michael Tuttle makes are custom made, and they are spectacular. How did you memorize all those different keys in each chords and their intervals, and recommend any plan doing it? That's from practice, Perceived Waves. Wow, yeah. Okay. Look, I have this conversation with a lot of students and people. If you can spell your name, you can spell chords. It's just simple memorization. It's just that you just haven't done it. I mean, there's no really way around it. It's just putting in the time. It's like, I call it, that's the monkey work, Being able to play well is the difficult part, but the easy part is just saying C major, C, E, G, C major 7, C, E, G, B, C major 7, or C7 is C, E, G, B flat. Like, you want to memorize them. So ways to do that is memorize the diatonic chords in the key of C, which is a really great way to do this. Because there's no sharps or flats. So I don't want to get, there's a lot of great videos on YouTube on how to spell the stuff. And, True Fire is so kind to share my stream. My friend Jeff Sheets has got a great course, Street Theory, where he lays this all out on the guitar in a really comprehensive, well laid out course. So if you want to get really deep into that and how you see it on the guitar, that's one course I highly recommend. Okay, so, you play your chord, you think, what chords are in what key, or what notes are in each chord. What chord, let me start over again. What notes make up each chord? So if I'm thinking about an E blues, E7, E, G sharp, B, and D. Now, if you're not totally at that point yet, you can look at shapes, right? Well, there's E7, there's E7, there's E7, there's E7. So you can use all those, there's no reason why you can't. It's not like you can't play the stuff until you know what the notes are. So like, so there I said E7 like this. I could have gone. So when I'm thinking about these notes, as I'm playing as well, I'm thinking shapes, I'm also thinking notes in the chord. But the best thing I would say to do is to do things one string at a time. If you want to think about a real technical way, like if you say, okay, E7 spelled E, G sharp, B, and D. Well, E, G sharp, B, D, E, G sharp, B, D. And the same backwards, which I couldn't do unless I'm playing. D, B, G sharp, E, D, B, G sharp, E. Right? E string. So you're playing the arpeggio up and down each string. So at any point in time, through hours of work and practice, for better or for worse, I can play over an E7 chord. Okay? So that's what I would say. Check out Jeff's course, and I'd also start memorizing how to spell chords in the key of C, and then what the intervals are. What makes them up. Like what makes a dominant 7th chord a dominant 7th chord, what makes a major chord, all those kind of things. Okay. Hopefully that helped. Great lesson explanation, thank you. I'm good switching major and minor. We struggle going back to major. This is from S.E. Nesbitt. Are you talking about switching between major and minor pentatonic scales? Because we can make that another topic. That's a whole big thing. We could talk about that in just a second. Actually, let's talk about it now. I don't necessarily look at things like I'm switching between major and minor pentatonic all the time. I used to, and I just don't think it's a great way to look at stuff. Simply because I'm thinking about chord tones now. I'm always thinking about what notes are in what key and how I can outline them. But when I'm thinking about a quick little thing we can do to do that, let me get a track up here. Hold on. I hate iTunes. All right. Let's take a slow blues in A.
1, 2, 3.
A major pentatonic, just for right now. Now, A minor. Major again. Now we go to A minor again. Stay in A minor. A major. Right. So what I did there was I played a major pentatonic on my 1 chord. I'm in an A blues, so A chord, right? A blues, right? A. 4 chord, D7, 5 chord, E7. So in the 1 chord, I played A major pentatonic. And then on the 4 chord, I played A minor pentatonic. And my 5 chord, I played A minor pentatonic as well. We can get really deep into why that works, and maybe we could do that on the next feed. But if you just look at it, look at the notes. Here's A7. It's got a C sharp in it. If I play A minor pentatonic on A7, we can sound good if I bend the note. But if I just hit it, you hear me talk about this in some of my courses, you guys are familiar with that. Right, that sounds terrible. So you should kind of bend it or tweak it. What I can do is play A major pentatonic. Right, sounds great. Clapton does it in Crossroads. Yeah. So we went from A major to A minor, the first solo there. On the 1 chord, he's using A major pentatonic, and in the 4 chord, he's using A minor pentatonic. And in the 5 chord, he's just banging through the A minor pentatonic again. That whole stuff. But I can do some stuff on Clapton on the next stuff. Right? So this has got that C sharp in it. So let's kind of go through it. It's playing the scale. Right now, my 4 chord, minor. Back to A major. Now minor, right? Minor still. Major. Okay, so that, if you're not familiar with switching major and minor pentatonic, is a great way to start. Like I said, Clapton does it in in Crossroads right off the top. So it's just a really cool way to just get your ears, no pun intended, in tune with the sound of a major pentatonic and a blues and switching to the minor pentatonic. So that's a great way to kind of start digging into that. Okay, hopefully that answers that question. All right, so let me go see more questions. Okay, jazz nut, we can do that. That minor 7 flat 5 arpeggios in a typical jazz. Yeah, okay, that's a whole other can of worms to open up. Angus Clark, how do you take these classic turnarounds in non-guitar keys? I don't. Actually, I do. Angus is going to be on one of these. I'm going to do some interview stuff, so I'll have Angus online. He can talk about all this stuff too. Angus Clark, personal friend of mine. All right, so that is here on my YouTube channel, the Turnaround Factory. I tell you and show you on my YouTube channel. Please subscribe while you're here. Hit that like button, all that kind of stuff everybody says, because it helps me a lot. Okay, so check that out. I'll do it another one. But yeah, there are ways that you can do it. in any different key. One quick one. All right, I showed you the Robert Johnson turnaround. Okay, this is great. Thank you, Angus. Awesome question. So here's my root. I'm going to do a turnaround in A. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? So here's my 5 chord ends at the bottom here. Now, my root is on my pinky. And if I want to do that turnaround in G, I want to go. So if you put your root where you in the key you're in, so we're in G, we're looking for a turnaround in G. There's my root. Don't forget this is beat 2, so it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. 5 chord, which would be D. Then back to G. Okay, so now watch, I could do that same thing in C. So where's my root? On the high string. So so okay, let's do it in E. Now you may say, well, I want to do it in B flat, but how am I going to hit this? Is hard to hit that low note, right? So, but let's say you're playing with the band, you might not have to hit the root. The bass player can go boom, and you do. Okay, now, the question you may have is, well, what's my 5 chord on that turnaround, right? So I'm in B flat, I'm on a gig. Crap, what's the 5 chord in B flat? It's F. But here's the trick. Don't tell anyone. It's between us. The 5 chord is where you end the turnaround. Watch. That note right there is your 5 chord, F. Here it is in C. There's my end note, G. My 5 chord. Here it is in A. Here's my note and end note, E. Every key. Turn around every key. Wait, there's more. Here's the awesome thing about this turnaround. Take the same turnaround. Bring it up towards your face. So you get all these turnarounds, just the same fingering. So watch what I did. Here's my root, right? We had on the high string here, turnaround in A. If I bring that pinky and I want to put it on E, on D, E. And so there's my root. Same exact fingering, just up towards your face. There's a turnaround in E. So there's my 5 chord, right? What did I end on? B. So here. Yeah, looks like Clapton does it on. He does this till he's down in then. So you get that cool. So there it is in D. I did a drop D, but my last note is A. There's my 5 chord. All right, so let's just kind of move it further. So here it is in G, right? So it's the same notes on a different set of strings, but it's really great. So you have the 2 turnarounds. Once again, you play this shape. There's a turnaround in A. Same thing in C sharp. My 5 chord in C sharp would be G sharp. Back to C. Here's an F sharp. God forbid you don't have to play a blues in F sharp. Okay. There you go, Angus. You thought you tripped me up, didn't you? For all you guys don't know, Angus is one of my lifelong best friends. So some of you guys are always kind of surprised about that kind of stuff. All right, so some more. Jason Lachlan, hey, dude. Thanks for chiming in. Jason, very good friend of mine as well. All right, more gain. No. Okay, my biggest influence. Oof. Hard to say. Besides my mom, would be I don't know, Jeff Beck, probably. If you said like, who do I think is just the coolest guitar player ever. It might be Jeff Beck. Um, Honestly, it's Robin Ford. Uh, as you guys know, Robin's a good friend, but it doesn't hurt to be good friends with one of your greatest guitar heroes. And I'm so bummed our gig got canceled. We were supposed to do a gig this coming weekend in Nashville together, and it got canceled. So, like everybody else. So, what are we gonna do? Brad, hey man, how's it going? Brad Wenkos, Mr. Truefire himself. Thanks for chiming in, man. And promoting this. Thanks, guys. It's great. Thank you. Um, any Eric Johnson style techniques for mixing with your slow blues? Ooh, um, Eric Johnson style licks. Well, we can. I'd have to practice that stuff. um, the Eric Johnson sort of stuff is always kind of feels faster to me. Hold on, let me know if my audio goes out. Hold on, my batteries are dying. Hold on. I'm going to replace the batteries. Hold on live TV. These are about to croak. See, at TrueFire, we take them out. Hold on. And it was like I was never gone. All right. Um, the Eric Johnson stuff. He's Eric Johnson. I can maybe put some stuff together for a future thing coming up. Hey, thanks for subscribing, Morris Bell. I really appreciate it. And yeah, right there, Tom. You said Robin Ford Shuffle. Yeah, Robin. That's the turnaround in Robin in Cannonball Shuffle. Yeah. Yeah. Glad he plays the head on that. Clapton was a gateway for everyone for me. Okay, well, let's talk about, yeah, man, Eric Clapton. Okay, I'll just go through my list. Eric Clapton, Circa Cream, and Bluesbreakers. Just great stuff. Jeff Beck, David Gilmour, Michael Schenker. And I'm actually teamed up with, I'm putting some stuff out with my friend Brett Papa on doing some stuff on those guys. So I'm looking forward to that. That should be a lot of fun. And who else? The metal guys growing up. A lot of guys don't know I was a big metal fan, like, Jakey Lee from Ozzy's band, and certainly Randy Rhoads and Yngwie Malmsteen and Uli John Roth and Richie Blackmore and all those guys. But for blues guys, Clapton, Peter Green, huge Peter Green fan. Mick Taylor, any of the guys who played with John Mayall, I'm a big fan of. Like I said, Robin Ford. Stevie, of course. B.B. King. Yeah, of course, B.B. King. Freddie King, Albert King. And of modern guys, people ask me, I think Matt Scofield is like the best, younger blues guitar player out there. Guy is just ridiculous. He's one of those guys you just play as, I'm like, well, there we go. That's it, So my hat's off to Matt, which he's just so great. Josh Smith, great. Kirk Fletcher, all the guys that we all know. Matt's playing when you're talking about just being a blues player. And what's cool about him is I'm a blues player. Like, I have all these other things. I consider myself like a rock influenced blues player or jazz rock influenced blues player. So that's where my head's coming from on this stuff. For more major. Oh, yes, thank you. Thank you for checking out my blues arpeggios course if you want to get deep into that. What I wanted. Okay, did Romano Bonifazi, hey, in Italy. Let's all give a nice shout out to everyone who is here from Italy. And someone is in from Tehran, which is just, yeah. So, yes, Romano, I absolutely loved doing the Umbria Blues Festival. So Romano put that on. He's been great. We did it one year with Matt Scofield and David Grissom, and then last year it was with Josh Smith and Ariel Posen. And unfortunately, we had to postpone it this year. We had some good people lined up. I don't know if I should say their names, but it would have been really cool. And people you guys know from TrueFire as well. So that would have been fun. All right. The Rockabilly King of TrueFire. Yeah, that would be Jason, wouldn't it? All right. So, do you ever play around town after filming for True Fire? Not usually, because I'd have to pull a band together. And the thing about when you go down to True Fire and do these courses, it's a lot of mental energy. I really would. I'd want a day or two off and then do a gig, or have the band rehearsed. To think about having to rehearse the band and then do a gig after filming, of course, my head would explode. Um, okay. Yeah, well, yeah, Josh is great, Matt's great, all these guys. Hey, Belgium, Peter Green, yep, of course. Um, okay, what's my best course for target tones? Two of them, playing the changes and chord tone soloing. Those are the two courses I have out in True Fire. And what I want to do to, I'm doing this to to say hi. I want to offer you guys. Got all my courses at True Fire are on sale for 25% off, but that's not why I'm doing this. I'm just going to give you the link so you guys, if you want to get them, you're welcome to. I'm doing this because I want to, and I think it's the right thing to do. But I would like you, if you could, subscribe to my YouTube channel and like it, so then you'll know when everything gets launched. But if you want, there's the code live 25 for the next month. You can get all my courses for 25% off. And one other thing that's super cool that we want to give, I want to give out, and all of us here. Um, if you use that, you guys can get TrueFire for 90 days. There's a free 90-day trial of TrueFire. So there you go. That's all I'm going to talk about here right now for that. You can get my courses live 25, and then TrueFire Spark Code if you want to kind of just sign up for TrueFire for free to check it out. And whether it's me or any of the great guys over at TrueFire, all my friends, help us all out as best you can, because it's quite a different time. Anyway, I was going to say one thing. I also will be having a TrueFire channel coming soon, where I'm going to have exclusive lessons, and it'd be really affordable. And so I have lessons there, and kind of like this, but much more detail with tabs and play-alongs and things like that. So that will be coming very, very soon. I'll let you know. But like I said, until then, please subscribe and hit the like button, all that kind of stuff. All right. So Phil was asking, what is my live setup? Well, I am fortunate enough to play 2 Rock amplifiers and work with those guys, Eli and Mac, over at 2 Rock. And I have a classic reverb signature, and I also have a Bloomfield Drive. And people ask me, what is your favorite of those two? I think lately I've been favoring the Bloomfield Drive because it's maybe a little bit more of a rock amp, more so than the signature, which, okay, with a Stratter, I tell you, the signature is amazing. Like we're talking about, Matt Scofield uses it, and it's just a spectacularly great amp. And then I'm also using the Bloomfield Drive, which is a little more dumbly, and that works really great with humbuckers. Hold on, let me turn on a light. Hold on. I'll be right there. All right. All right, so that works a little better. So that works a little better. I'm a little washed out. There we go. So that works a little better with humbuckers, right? So hold on. Let me move that back. I'm all white and shiny. Hold on. It's live. All right. So yeah, the classic reverb signature, and then my general pedal board. I have a great video, I think, here in my TrueFire YouTube channel, talking about my pedal board. My favorite overdrive, either the Klon or some sort of variant of the Klon, because who's gonna have that on their pedal board? And the Mythos or the Klon KTR, both of those are great. I really like those, and they're both, the Mythos pedal is really, really affordable, and really, really good. And the Vemoram Shanks overdrive, that's my favorite overdrive. And delay-wise, usually like a Strymon, El Capistan, or the Mad Professor Deep Blue delay, that's really great too. And that's kind of it. I don't really use a lot of effects. Sometimes I use a Univibe, which I really like, and I usually use my dry bell Univibe because it's nice and small and sounds really good. Um, okay. Thank you. You love your blues comping course. Thanks, man. Thank you. And my jam tracks are better than most and have a great length. Oh man, I really appreciate that. Um, uh, I want them to be good because there's just nothing worse than cheesy jam tracks. And one thing that'd be kind of fun at some point to do a feed on, I'll show you how I create my jam tracks. It's all kind of, most of it's in the box, except for a few ones. Like in the jam, we wanted a live band, but most of the time, I'm using Logic with an Apple drummer, and I play bass on it. And I can maybe do a rundown of how I do this. So if you guys have Logic or GarageBand, well, Logic, I can show you how I create tracks. I'm pretty quick at it at this point through having so much experience creating them for TrueFire. Um, okay. What influence of Peter Green on you? Okay, Imano, I got to Peter Green late in my life because he's not that big in the United States compared to England. Because it's like Gary Moore or Thin Lizzy, and or uh, uh, Irish guitar player just popped out of my head. Great guitar player. See, popped out of my head. And nobody's gonna. Oh, all right. I forgot his name. Rory Gallagher. Okay, there we go. So, if you're Irish, it's Gary Moore and Rory Gallagher. Or you're from England, everybody knew Peter Green really well. 'Cause Fleetwood Mac was huge in England in the 60s. And I think Peter Green had a nervous breakdown or schizophrenia, really horrible. So what I got from Peter Green was a nice mix of major and minor pentatonic, which we talked about before. But it's kind of a little bit like B.B. King, but more rocked out, And that's what I think about Peter Green. I find the records can be a little spotty. And the thing that makes me absolutely crazy is they re-released a lot of the records with the alternate takes, and they put all the false starts in the beginning. So if you want to hear the version of Watch Out, off of the Chicago sessions, you have to go through like 3 minutes of false starts and them messing around and joking around until you get to the actual recording. I don't know why they did that. It is the most annoying thing in the world. But, I love, of course, the blues tunes, but man, I love Green Manalishi and Rattlesnakes Jake and Oh Well, of course, all those tunes. So I think Peter was a really great songwriter as opposed to not just a guitar player, but they were great. So his influence on me is pretty big too. It came later, so much so that I have my Les Paul with the reverse pickup in the middle just to get that sound because I really love it. All right. It'd be cool if you include the bass parts from all the two chords. That'll never happen. I'm not I just play it a few times and I loop it, So if they want to transcribe it, but I think that's a lot of work, and I can't imagine that happening. But I understand why you would like that. I understand. Yes, Rory Gallagher. Yes, thank you. Can you disclose some planned future courses on TrueFire? Yeah. We did 2 that are already in the can, which I'm really super psyched about. One is called. Oh man, we came up with these nice names. And I've totally forgotten what Okay, Blues Rock Explorer. That's it. Okay, Blues Rock Explorer. And there I talk about outlining, you come across chord changes that we could see them as maybe modal, or just a lot of basic rock chord changes. I'm using the chord changes from famous kind of classic rock tunes. And things that always kind of threw me off, like where you might actually switch your mode or your key. And I used to just kind of play maybe like pentatonic scale over the whole thing and wonder why I had some problems and realized that it's just because I didn't know what I was doing. And if you take our time and look at what chords are in each, it's like the chord tone soloing kind of thing, but a little more modal in the approach of just straight rock and roll, That's one, like a friend of mine just texted me, oh, you're online. so, Yeah, so modal, it's a little more modal, like I said, but you're going to kind of dig into looking at the chord progression, seeing what changed in each chord so I can outline it more. It's like some kind of Pink Floyd influence stuff and some Zeppelin, a bunch of different things. I think it's fun. And then an Uptown blues course. And really what that is some blues tunes with some more changes. Like some of the things I ended up doing, playing with Robin live, that weren't your basic 1-4-5. Just blues tunes where you threw in a different chord, um, and then how to navigate that as a soloist. So it's not going to be your 1-4-5 standard. Everything has 1-6-2-5-1s or a flat 7 in the changes or some extensions on the chords. So something, uh, being able to navigate those chord progressions, which always kind of kicked my butt, like um, Nobody's Business But My Own, that kind of, that kind of thing, those little more gospely kind of blues sounds. Those things I had for a long time had a really hard time pulling those together. So, Tom, you just asked when's the Uptown one coming out? It's slated for July 16th. And the other one, the Blues Explorer, is May 14th for that. Um, hey, Devin, what's up, man? Devin, my good friend from Australia. What's quintessential Peter Green work that you would recommend for a student so they can get him instantly? That's a good question. Um, Probably they get a bit jammy on it, and some people really dig it, and some people don't. And some days I'm into it, sometimes I don't. Is Live at the Boston Tea Party. That's really good. It's a live one that they did in Boston, and there's some really great stuff on it, like the version of Rattlesnake Shake's on there. Um, uh, what's the tune? Just Jumping at Shadows. There's two of them. Hold on, let me just tell you. There's two of those releases, and the Jumping at Shadows I'm talking about is on. There's two colors of the record. Oh, look, if maybe you got iTunes, you can get all of them, but it's the version. I'm looking through my Peter Green stuff. It's the version with the red cover. Yeah, this one. Yeah, so it's the one with the red cover. Live in Boston. Also, I'd highly recommend Mr. Wonderful. That's a great one. It's got Stop Messing Around on it. And unfortunately, it's got the alternate take of it as well. All the real studio records are really nice. Then Play On is really great. And The Pious Bird of Good Omen. That's really great. Need Your Love So Bad is on that. But the live stuff's really cool. And, if you want to talk about Peter Green, there's a great record, John Mayall and the Bluesbreakers Live. And it was a bootleg, so the recording is a little rough. It's been floating around YouTube for a while, but they actually put it out. And it is awesome. Peter Green just kicks butt on that. And it is called, so we have it. You definitely need John Mayall Bluesbreakers featuring Eric Clapton. You definitely want to get Crusade and Hard Road, all those Bluesbreakers records. And the live one is called Live 1967. John Mayall's Bluesbreakers Live in 1967. It's a 2 CD set, if anybody has CDs anymore. And those are great. Okay. You picked up my Diminished Blues. Hey, man, thanks for your Guitar Memoir. Thank you. It's my 8th course. Thank you so much. Okay. It's Your Groove. Oh, thanks. That's one of my tunes. My sister calling me. I'll call her back. Okay. All right. Well, are there any more questions? We've been blabbing for an hour and 15. Like I said, please subscribe to the channel, my YouTube channel, and put the old thumbs up like there. I think it really helps a lot, and all those YouTube algorithms that I don't understand. I did have the absolute pleasure of talking to Rick Beato for an hour the other night, just talking about YouTube, and that guy's really done such a great job. So I'd like to, the main thing is I might do some of these a little impromptu, and then you get a notice when I go on live. But I'll certainly announce it on Facebook and Instagram. I know a lot of you guys are my Facebook friends, and hopefully, True Fire and us, we can kind of start to do something together. But okay, let me just see what other questions before I go. Uptown Blue. Oh, sorry, you liked how Robin let you play your songs. Oh yeah, Thomas Moore. Yeah, yeah. What Thomas was saying, he liked how Robin Ford, when we did some tours together, let me play my songs. I can't say enough nice stuff about him. I mean, really, think about that. Like, he has me on his gig. We do a record together. He says, "Hey man, let's go do a tour. You want to do some touring?" And I'm like, "Psst, yeah." And he said, "Okay, great. Let's choose like 5 of your tunes. We'll do those live to promote your record." And on certain songs, he just wouldn't solo at all. And it was pretty much like 60-40 split, 60 him, 40%, and to be that generous is just, it was really, really amazing, giving me songs where he didn't solo, like a solo blues where I'd go for myself. And one of my tunes, he'd walk off stage and just let me play it by myself. I mean, he's such a generous guy and a really great friend. And I can't thank him enough for everything, but thanks. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. Um, would you please repeat your name, your course for target notes? Okay, chord tone soloing, and also playing the changes. And if you'd like to grab one, like I said, if you enter that code live 25, True Fire, we're going to offer you 25% off, because why not? Hopefully, like I said, I didn't want to share the stuff, make everything as accessible to everybody to play, to do. They're going to live 25 again. Peter Green Anthology, yeah, Man of the World. That's great. Yeah, you love my enthusiasm. Thank you so much, man. And then you like all the True Fire folk. Yes, well, that comes from the top over there too. True Fire only, it's like a big family, and we only bring in people that they want to work with, and they're the best. They're absolute best. I'm glad you guys learned from the courses. Thank you. Do I ever play in the UK? No, I can't afford to. It's hard to get over there for me because I don't really have much of a following. I do as an instructor and these kind of things, but it's very difficult to be able to afford to go do a tour, and it would have been canceled anyway. All right. Can you talk more about chords and so? Yeah, we can talk about Luke Lou 8. Yeah, we can talk about more of that stuff moving on. About playing over chord tones and things and call and response for sure. I just want to not bore everybody after an hour and 20 minutes of blabbing. Wow, still people hanging on. I really appreciate it. Okay, one. I think that was it. Well, thanks for everybody for chiming in and hanging out. I really appreciate it, and everybody hang in there. It's really important at this point where everybody. That sounds corny, but it's true. Everybody kind of pull together and support each other, and I just want to do this because I feel I am so appreciative that I get to do this for a living, and you guys who all here have been so supportive. All the True Fire people. Facebook friends, Instagram friends, guys who bought the records. So, I would really, I think this would be a lot of fun and just kind of keep it going because I think this is going to be a bit of a long haul. So let's all stick together and, be kind, right? All right. Thanks so much, everybody. I really appreciate it. And, sign up, please subscribe. And the next one comes up. And I'll see you guys soon. Thanks.